Most people think growth means getting taller or older, but for me, it's been something else, growing in how I feel. I made this video to explore how my thoughts and beliefs have changed, not just about myself, but about truth, purpose, and life itself. This isn't a biography about my life, it's a map of my mind. Welcome to my philosophy. How do we know what we know? Can we know anything for certain? Is anything certain? Some things I believe are true. Like if God tells me something, that's true to me. No debate. That kind of truth isn't just based on facts, it's based on faith. It's something I feel deep in my soul. But outside of that, most of life is uncertain. Take the weather for example. We can predict it, but we can never really know. Or something more personal, like what someone else is thinking. We can guess, but we don't know for sure. Same with the future. We can plan and guess, but we don't know for sure what life has in store. Life can change overnight. I used to think that if I just worked hard enough, I could figure everything out. But now I realize that living means accepting the unknown. That's not weakness, that's courage. Certainty is easy to stand on, but fate asks you to walk without a map. That's what I see in Hamlet. He questions everything that's true. Who's lying? What's real? But that obsession with truth ends up stopping him from acting. I don't want to live like that, stuck in endless questions. I learned that sometimes you just have to move forward with what you do know, and that's how I try to live my life. What is the nature of the universe, and what is our relationship to it? Is life planned or chaotic? I see it like this. Life has structure, and it also has chaos. Some things feel set in stone, like gravity, time, biology, and etc. Some patterns never change. That's the blueprint side of life. However, there is also disorder. Individuals fall ill without any apparent cause. A single moment can alter everything. Unexpected chances appear from nowhere. That side is unreliable. As I matured, I discovered it's just not one choice or alternative. It's a combination of both. Certain aspects are beyond our control, while others we influence through our decisions. Hamlet states there is a divine purpose in fall of a sparrow, signifying that everything is included in God's design. Yet, he continues to doubt, inquire, and take action. That's the conflict, having faith in something greater while also making own choices. I'm discovering how to exist within that blend. What is the nature of God, and how is God related to the universe? I'm a Christian. My belief hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten stronger. But I moved away from just knowing what I'm told to feeling it for myself. It's not about checking boxes or being perfect. It's about building relationship, trusting in something that's beyond what I can see, especially when things don't make sense. Faith is something I try to when I don't feel like else is shaky. That's why even when I overthink, I come back to prayer and trust it grounds me. The picture on the right is a picture of my baptism day. But like Hamlet, I sometimes question everything. But unlike him, I've learned that having a foundation, something that I don't have question, gives me peace. In conclusion, I believe God gives us free will as a gift, which we can choose what to do. Who are we? What is our identity? I think being yourself means comfortable in your own skin, fully, not putting on an act for other people or changing just to fit in. For me, that's been a huge change. I used to think I had to play a version of myself to meet others' expectations, but now I want to be the same person, whether I'm with a group of people or just by myself. That kind of honesty takes work and time, but it's freeing. Hamlet wears a mask too. He pretends to be mad so no one sees how much he's struggling, but in doing that, he loses parts of himself. I don't want that. I want to live originally, even if that means showing the messy parts. Are we controlled by fate or do we have free will? People are always saying, you have to do this or you can't do that. School, job, expectations from parents, all of it can feel like you're locked in someone else's idea of how you should live. But I think we do have free will. We just forget that we have it. You can choose to walk away from something that's not for you. You can chase something even if it's hard. Hamlet struggles with this too. He keeps saying, I can't act. But deep down, the choice is always his. His fear, his doubt, that's what paralyzes him. I can relate to that. Sometimes I say, I can't. But the truth is, I'm scared. Scared of failure, scared of disappointing others. But I've learned this. Just because the world gives you a script doesn't mean you have to follow it. What is the purpose of life? Right now, it is to discover things about myself. That means learning to trial and error, failing and learning, and trying new things, even when I don't know what I'm doing. I used to think school was just something I had to survive on, but now I see it as a part of the journey. It's not everything, but it's helping me grow. Hamlet's problem is that he never figures out his purpose. He wants to do the right thing, but that he doesn't know what it is. I've learned you don't have to find your purpose in one moment. You build it step by step by living. That's what I'm trying to do. What is the nature of death? What happens after death? Is there a heaven or hell? That scares me because it's the end, but because it's never done it before. I believe in heaven and hell. I believe if I do my best and trust in God and accept Him, I'll go to heaven. That comforts me. But death is still unknown, and that makes it terrifying. But oddly, the fear of it motivates me. It makes me feel that I need to try more, live more, be more. Hamlet's to be or not to be moment. That's his version of this. He fears death, but also fears living with the pain. That speech sticks with me, not because I want to give up, but because I want to make sure I really lived. What is right and what is wrong? Right and wrong aren't black and white. Sometimes it feels right, hurts someone else, or helps now but causes them harm later. So, what I do think is right. I think it's doing what helps others and yourself without causing damage, now or in the future. But it's messy. Even the right choice can have consequences. Hamlet takes revenge, and in some ways, it's justified, but ends in tragedy. That taught me something. Being right doesn't always becomes perfect. It just means trying to do your best and owning the results. How do we know? How do we have meaningful relationships with each other? I think every relationship starts with kindness and respect. You offer people the respect that they deserve and seeing how they respond. If they treat you the same way in return, that's someone you can keep close. If not, you distance yourself from them. I used to think that I had to keep everyone around, even if they made me feel worse. Now I know setting boundaries isn't mean, it's self respect. Hamlet's friend, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they pretended to care, but they weren't real. That's something I've learned too. And like my grade 5 teacher said, treat others how they treat you.